Good morning and welcome. Happy Monday. It's your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day and your week off well. And first thing is I want to apologize if any of you got goofed up from the email that went out with the link for yesterday's Unity Cafe. Apparently it said 8:30 in the email when we actually met at 7. So there were only a couple of you on yesterday, but we had a great discussion. So next one will be Sunday, August 3rd for our next Unity Cafe. And if you're interested in being included in that, send me an email to bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com and just say that you'd like to be included in the list for the next Unity Cafe. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Gwen actually found me, and so did Nancy. So we had a nice little intimate discussion, the three of us. But again, I apologize if any of you got messed up because of a time that was listed in the email that went out. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. Welcome. So I'm kind of laughing at the irony of one goes away on vacation, comes home, and immediately gets sick. So I'm still doing the coughing, hacking thing, so hopefully it won't be too annoying today. Yesterday it kind of took over, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Glad you enjoyed it. I did too. Very helpful discussion. So I'm always interested in connecting with my peeps. My practical rebels. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Glad you're here. So I'm also, and today's card just fits so well with this. The word is wandering. I'm in a place of discernment. I can feel a coalescing of energy in a way that I think is going to lead to some new stuff coming forth. No idea exactly what that looks like. I did some journaling on it yesterday. And so put some things on paper. We'll just see how it comes together. But there might be some new offerings coming, some new opportunities. We shall see. So, anywho, let's do a little bit of tapping and a little bit of breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Grounding through your feet, in through the nose, out through the mouth, grounding through your root chakra down into Mother Earth, sending those roots deep, in through the nose, out through the mouth, feeling everything settle, move into its own field, the open field where we all connect, in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, awesome. So our card deck for today is the Allowing Prayers deck by Siobhan Nash. And I got to move my knitting needle again. There we go. 57 invitations to spark a conversation with your soul. With your soul. And I love this particular card. It's called Allow Wandering. Good morning, Angie. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Allow Wandering. And when I first read that, I took it in the literal sense of going out and exploring our world and maybe allowing, when I went for a walk with my sister Carrie the other day, we came to the end of the sidewalk and we just stood there kind of waiting for our shoes to tell us which direction to go. An hour and 9 minutes later, we returned. But that inner guidance was there. Go this way, not that way. Go here, not there. And it's an interesting way to move through life. Good morning to the tribe that you're proud to be a part of. Yes, I am also. And that's actually a piece of what was coming to me yesterday as I was writing, making the Practical Rebels more formal. More of a formal group. What do I offer that formal group? When do we get together? How do we get together? Because it feels to me like connection and belongingness are so huge right now. Having been in a country where that is so prevalent, And then coming back here, it was striking, the difference. And we have so vastly overvalued independence that we've lost a lot of the community and connection. I was finishing reading, where did I put it now? Oh, right here. Grab it. Strong Towns by Charles L. Moron. And at the end of the book, he's talking about his politics. And it was quite interesting how he chose. The chapter part was called Talking to Each Other. And he's citing why we're struggling to do that. So he mentions a couple of books. One called The Big Sort, Why the Clustering of Like-Minded America is Tearing Us Apart, by a journalist named Bill Bishop. So I want to get that one. He also, let's see, who else? Jonathan Haidt, who's a psychologist, Haidt, The Righteous Mind, Why Good People Are Divided by Religion and Politics. And he was talking about, this is Charles, over his lifespan, yes, community is critical important, very much so. So he's talking about how he identified politically over the course of his lifespan, and that he identified as conservative and with the Republican Party in when he was in college. But now he's got this interesting response to that question. Excuse me, I dropped today's card, which we'll get to, I swear. This little aside will take us somewhere. But this is how he formulated it in a speech that he gave in 2015. He said, "At the national level, I tend to be libertarian. Let's do a few things and do them very competently. At the state level, I tend to be a Minnesota version of conservative Republican. Let's devolve power, use markets and feedback where it drives good outcomes, and let's do limited state interventions when we have a broad consensus that things would be better by doing so. Let's measure outcomes and hold ourselves to a high standard. At the regional level, I tend to favor a more progressive approach. Let's cooperate in ways that improves everyone's lives." Good morning, Nancy. Glad you're here. "Let's work together to make the world more just. At the city level, I'm fairly progressive. What do we need to do to make this place work for everyone? Let's raise our taxes and put sensible regulations in place to make that a reality. At the neighborhood level, I'm pretty much a socialist. If there is something I have that you need, it's yours. All I ask is that you do the same in return for me and my family. And at the family level, I'm completely communal. Without hesitation, I'll give everything I have so my family has lives that are secure, happy, and prosperous. I expect nothing in return." I just thought that was such an interesting way to parse out all this stuff. It's not that any position is wrong or right. That's where we get ourselves in trouble. It's that in the wandering, we explore what stance is going to work in this particular set of circumstances. And the stance that works at one level may not work at another level. Or the stance that works at one level at one time may not continue to work over time. And that the flexibility to move through various kinds of stances is amazing, is huge. And I think on the individual level, this card, Allow Wandering, is calling us to this kind of discernment. So let me read the two questions, and if one or more of you could put them in the feed, that would be fabulous. So the first question is, what are you afraid of discovering? What are you afraid of discovering if you allow yourself to wander outside the well-known parts of yourself? What are you afraid of discovering if you allow yourself to wander outside the well-known parts of yourself? So, inherent in that question is, what are you afraid to discover when you engage with your shadow? What are you afraid to discover when you engage with your shadow? So I just sat here and out loud started creating a list of the things that I thought I might discover. I might discover my ego, which mucks things up. I might discover my call for validation, that I look for recognition. I might discover the belief that I have to fight for what I get. Inherent in that is the I'm not doing faith and trust very well. So lots of things came to mind for me, but what about for you? What are you afraid of discovering if you allow yourself to wander outside the well-known parts of yourself? That'd be a great journaling prompt. Great journaling prompt. And then the second question is, how might that discovery bring you closer to your true self? How might that discovery bring you closer to your true self? First of all, you won't be rejecting parts of yourself that you have judged in some way or another. You'll be embracing the whole of you, warts and all, as my friend would say, warts and all. Because that's what makes us human, not being perfect. We have our trials, our tribulations, our weaknesses, our shadow side, all the things. That's part of what makes us interesting. Thank you for posting that first question. And here is the second question. How might that discovery bring you closer to your true self? When more of us are living from our true self, the world will become a better place. The less of us who are living with the facade, here's what I think you want me to be, the less of us doing that and the more of us doing, here's the real me, the better off we're going to be. The better off we're going to be. So that's our call for today. Allow wandering. Allow wandering. And I would suggest that you can do this literally with the intention that it is changing things from the inside out. And I've talked about this repeatedly, where I've had clients who've done things like refinish a chair and in the process be considering how it's refinishing herself. Refinishing a floor, a wood floor, and how that was redoing herself. Building a barn for her horse, how that was rebuilding something secure for herself. Allow wandering. As we wander, as we explore, as we consider, discern, etc., allows us to rework ourselves, to cast off the things that are that armor that never worked in the first place, that are the going along to get along facade kinds of things, and truly stepping into who am I really? Even if there's parts of me that others react to negatively, claiming those. Who am I really? Who am I really? So, for today, I'd like you to practice some wandering. I'd like you to practice some wandering and see what you notice. Pretty good. Made it all the way to the end before I started coughing. Woohoo! Progress, progress. So, have an awesome Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are, including this consideration while wandering. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.